Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be about the flat left wrist at impact. So when we're hitting at impact, we want to have this left wrist flat or even bowed out slightly. Okay, so the reason we do that is one, it adds a bit more shaft lean at impact, and two, it really stabilizes the face through the hitting area. So when the left wrist isn't bowed at impact, it will either be cupped, which is adding loft, so you're going to get fat and thin shots, get too much height on your shots, or you get too much roll, okay, which means rights and lefts. Okay, so what we've got to try and do is get this left wrist flat at impact. So when we take our grip, both hands are going to have a slight cup to them, but we're going to lean the club slightly forward. That's going to make this left wrist slightly flatter and give you a bit more angle in the right wrist. So as soon as I start my swing, I feel that this left wrist is becoming more flat. Okay, so on the way back, at the top of the swing, I already want to feel this is really flat. As I start down, it stays flat. It's almost bowing now. So as I come into impact, I'm coming in this way, okay, with a bowed left wrist. So although we never want too much hinge this way or this way in the swing, and we don't want too much roll, there is going to be a change in the wrists, in that the right wrist will bend back on itself slightly and the left wrist will flatten. Okay, so that happens at the start of the swing. As I go up to the top and maintain that flat left wrist, as I come down, it stays flat, and then I really feel it bowing as I hit. Now you can see I get the shaft lean there and the flat left wrist. So to practice that, we can hit little shots. We just go halfway back. Okay, so to make that halfway back, we already want to feel the left wrist is flat. As we're coming down, we want to feel the left wrist is bowing at impact this way. So if I just hit a little half one, I can get that feeling off the bowed left wrist. So slight angle at the start, left wrist flat at the top, left wrist bowed at impact. So I can just hit little half shots like that to get that feeling. So if you do get too much height on your shots, you have problems with rights and lefts, then this is going to help. This is going to, like I said, it's going to stabilize the club face. It's going to take a bit of loft off the club, and it's because it's going to give you more shaft lean. So it's going to give you a better contact, more pressure on the ball. So you see with good players, they always have this left wrist flat or bowed at impact. Okay, that way their hands are forward, not back this way. So let's try one more with the drill. So I'm going to go halfway back, start with a very small cup in the left wrist, have the left wrist flat here in this halfway back position, and feel like the left wrist is bowed as I hit. So another way to practice this is with the impact bag. Start by leaning the club a bit into the bag, pushing in a bit. That'll help flatten the wrist a little bit. Little half swing, bring it back down with a bowed left wrist. So if you've always had a cup wrist this way, it is going to feel pretty different. But like I said, you just need to practice that first with just smaller swings and build it up into a full swing. So I want my left wrist flat here. So at the top of my swing, I've got the left one flat. I've got a bit of bend in the right wrist. I want to maintain that and then feel like the left wrist is bowing as I hit the ball. So left wrist flat, left wrist bowed. You can see how my hands are forward there. So you can really exaggerate that, hitting half shots or just hitting against an impact bag. Getting this feeling. So if you video your swing and you see your wrists look this way, so cut that impact, or if they roll too much, you've got to look at a couple of different things. And the first thing is the club face on the way down. If the club face gets too open here, halfway down, you're going to have to close it somehow. And you're either going to roll the wrist or you're going to flip the club this way. So we want to make sure at the top of the swing the left wrist is flat. Coming down it stays flat, or it bows slightly. That's going to keep the club face nice and square. And we want to make sure the body stays over coming down. So we don't want to straighten the body and open the club face. So from the front it's going to look this way. I'm going to keep my overness as I come down. I'm going to keep the left wrist nice and flat, coming into impact, and then I'm going to bow the wrist. So it's this way, and I get my shaft lean. So if I get this position here with the body too straight, club open, I'm going to either have to flip this way or roll that way. So maintain your overness on the way down, nice flat left wrist at the top, keep the left wrist flat coming down, and let it bow at impact this way. So this is going to give you much better control of the low point of your swing, going to get better contact, the club face is going to be much more stable, helping direction also.